When you look at the map of the United States, it might seem pretty straightforward. 50 states, all neatly arranged. But trust me, the more you look into it, the stranger it gets. Let's start with Alaska. It's way up there in the top left corner of the map, right? Well, not exactly. On most maps, Alaska is shown much smaller than it actually is and placed down near Hawaii just so it fits. In reality, Alaska is huge, more than twice the size of Texas. And if you placed it over the lower 48 states, it would stretch from Florida to California. Now that's massive. Speaking of Hawaii, it's not just far from the mainland, it's really far. If you're standing in Los Angeles, you're still about 2,500 miles away from Honolulu. That's almost the same distance as flying from New York to London. No wonder it feels like its own little paradise. Here's a fact that will twist your brain. The geographic center of the United States is actually in Lebanon, Kansas. But that's only if you count the lower 48 states. Once Alaska and Hawaii joined the Union, the center moved to a tiny town called Belle Fourche in South Dakota. Imagine being able to say your town is literally the middle of America. Now let's talk about borders. Have you noticed that the border between Canada and the US is mostly a straight line across the top? That's the 49th parallel. But here's the weird part. There's a little chunk of the US above that line called the Northwest Angle in Minnesota. You can only get there by driving through Canada or crossing a frozen lake in winter. It's like America forgot a puzzle piece up there. Another strange thing. Not all state borders are where you think they are. Take the border between Delaware and New Jersey. It's defined by the Delaware River, right? But thanks to an old colonial land grant, Delaware actually owns the river, all the way up to the New Jersey shore. So if you step into the water from New Jersey, technically you're in Delaware. And here's something almost nobody realizes. Maps often distort the size of states because of projection. On a flat map, northern states like Montana or North Dakota look way bigger than southern states like Texas, but in reality, Texas is much larger. That's the magic, or the trickin' of cartography. Oh, and before we wrap up, did you know that 4 states meet at exactly one point? It's called the Four Corners, where Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona all touch. You can literally stand in 4 states at once. Though in reality, the marker is a tiny bit off due to survey errors from the 1800s. Funny how we accept maps as perfect, when in fact, they're full of quirks, distortions, and little secrets. Next time you look at a US map, remember, it's not just lines and shapes. It's a story full of history, mistakes, and fascinating surprises you never learned in school.